People still ask me this quite often. Media, friends, even some teams. Would I ever go back and coach in the NHL again? I'm not going to go ahead and tell you what teams have maybe called. It really isn't about that. This is more about my answer and what that has done and how it shaped me with everything that's happened along my path. Now, this question that I said keeps coming up didn't happen right away. If anyone knows my path, there was a time there where I had been canceled, and with the whole Leafs thing, and a lot of people went dark. I had tons of support for all the people that went dark. It was tenfold on the people that were supporting me and whatnot. But I'm not going to lie, as I was writing that little section out, I saw the writing on the wall. I'm no idiot. And I was like, I don't know if that's my path anymore at the NHL. I'll get into that more as I talk here. I really understood as I was going through that time that things shift and you got to be ready to shift with the times, with things that happen to you along the way, which looking back, I feel I did fairly well. There were multiple things. A lot of people would call them setbacks. I tend to not really like that word. Um, I like to use the word challenge, hurdles, things just to really try to push through and move forward on. But there were a number of them in succession, over the years. And that whole time when I got fired by the Leafs after 48 hours and canceled and all of that good stuff, there was some time for me to kind of adjust and rethink things. So I don't want to make this sound like it soured me, and when I tell you my answer to the whole question, like would I ever coach in the NHL again, or would I want to? It's not that that whole thing soured me. There is a lot that goes into my thinking towards it all. I'm a huge believer in shit happens for a reason. I'm sure there's more philosophical ways to describe that, but in a nutshell, that's really kind of how I approach things. And as things come along, challenges, hurdles, setbacks, I choose to look at them that way. And, as that was all happening, I pivoted really fast. So I didn't really sit back and look like, oh, my NHL career is over. It's dying. How can I rekindle it? How can I get back? And it really didn't go like that. It kind of flipped, and the goalie therapist business had just started before the signing with the Leafs. And then as soon as that whole debacle happened, I just jumped right back into that. And then the craziest thing, the whole shit happens for a reason mentality, I just jumped right in. And I will say, maybe not intentionally, that I found it right away, but it did lead me to the path that I'm on now and find a real love in what I'm doing now. It's not just the cancellation or anything, it was all the things in succession. When you look back, well, when I look back, whether it be the '08 crash and losing everything, the whole career of drinking and partying, and then finally giving all that up and having this massive clarity. There's multiple things, and I did videos on them that have kind of led to all this. And that's kind of where I come to my answer. So my answer is no. I would never go back. Now, you know, life changes and pivots. So who knows, right? The perfect situation might arise. I don't know. But there are a lot of things about my time in coaching in the NHL that didn't align with me. Never did. Um, I loved certain parts about it. I really did. And I was super appreciative to both the organizations that I worked with. Very thankful. And it's led me to where I am now. But even before the goalie therapist and doing what I do now, I always knew I didn't quite fit the mold in the whole biz of having a regular job in the NHL as a coach. It just was different than how I rolled, you know. They often made light jokes about it because it just wasn't my thing. I did a really good job. I felt, anyways, that with what the job was meant to be was to help improve and build and rebuild goalies. And I feel I did a good job with that. But the whole biz itself, it's a different animal. And that is a big part in my answer to would I ever go back. You know, I'm in the process right now of building a model where I can work with a larger number of NHL and pro goalies in the NHL organizations without just being on one team. I currently do that in private, individually, but I'd love to work with NHL teams. I love the game. I love the NHL. I love so much about it. I just don't know if I could ever go back into that whole circus and punch a clock every day and go in every day. I just don't know if I could do that. Europe, there have been some people kicking tires there. That may be down the road. Who knows? Like just for experience and the travel, because I did love my time in the KHL. It was interesting. But right now, man, this is where I'm meant to be. I believe that, and I love it. So, yeah, no, I can't see myself being back there in one of those regular roles. I will add one thing, though, that a couple of people have brought it up, saying that I would be really good in the more of a director's role in kind of building and forming the goalie department. That that sounds like an interesting adventure, a project that maybe down the road, I don't know. That's the only kind of where my the light bulb, flickers a little bit. But other than that, man, no, I'm happy and where I'm at and what I'm doing. It's crazy, man, how when shit happens, it can seem so bleak and so dark and like there's no way out. Next thing you know, you're on a different path and you're like, how did this shift? It can be taught, though. It can be very intentional. You can use those dark times and flip it. And I guess if there's a message in just this whole video, this isn't a teaching video, but if there is a message that it would be that for sure. It's even in the darkest times, man, things can flip, man, and there's light. There's light at the end of the tunnel. And I've said that a bajillion times, but I truly believe it.